He calculated another person that had it. He calculated what he saw in another person. That is what we call physics. He checked it plus B, H, oxygen this, carbohydrate this, sulfur, nitrogen this. He calculated everything. And when he calculated it plus minus, he said because your blood vessel is this, you're this, you're going to die tomorrow. Don't you know you are seated in heavenly places? The law that controls you should not be the law of the earth. And when they finish calculating all these things, I say, have you finished, doctor? They will use something, even knock at your leg, knock at your... Are you hearing? Are you feeling something? Is your here? Let me see your eye. They use touch, put your eye. After they finish, they calculate everything and say, you see them. Government is paying them for that. Government is paying them. It's the law of this house. And you see them, they oppose. They will now want to judge. They want to sentence me to death. And they say, your diabetes is 31.5. You are going to die. I say, I died though. I died. It's not me that lives here. I died, yes, I died a long time ago. You say, well, why are you still talking? I say, you will not understand. The doctor said, we are not joking. We are talking about your life. I say, you don't know anything about my life. My life is in Christ Jesus. I said, I died. I was crucified with Christ. He's no more me. Somebody was telling me witchcraft. I said, witchcraft only attack people that have flesh. He said, me, there is no more flesh. All the flesh in me have that. He's crucified with Christ. Why? I'm not talking as somebody on earth. I'm talking as somebody seated in heavenly places. Does that make sense? How do you talk? I'm talking as somebody that there's no night in my life, there's no day in my life. And here we are in a beautiful country like Australia. And the devil is dancing. And don't know. Immediately they accept it, I will draw them back. Immediately they accept the time is going back, I will bring back, deteriorate their sickness more. Immediately they do it and bring their poverty back. They say their time is going back. Immediately they accept it, I will move them backward. But when he comes, thank God, Idika is now in Australia. So when he accepts that his time is going back, I will kick him backward. He will ring my door. But when he comes knocking at my door, Idika, are you not in Australia? Australia time is going back. Though I am in this world, I'm not of this world. Are you getting it? The devil is saying, when will I ever brainwash you and change this your mentality? Devil is over. You have already lost it. Am I making sense? Physically, somebody said, Jesus, let me just go and greet my people. Let me go back. And Jesus said, hey, anyone that draws back, read Hebrews chapter 10, 37 and 38 for me. Yes.
For yet a little while, and he that cometh.
No, read 38 and 39.
Now the just shall live by faith.
Now the just shall live by faith.
But if any man draw back.
Look at it. Look at it. Is that not English language? But if there's anyone among you that will engage with backsliding, Bishop Bessie said, my children, why don't you the same strength that used to backslide, to from slide? Actually walking. He said, Bishop said, you are involving strength. Why not use that strength to from slide and move your life a bit further? Some people are rejoicing. They don't know it's time that the devil is waiting for them. For you shall have whatever you say. You shall have whatever you say. You shall have whatever you say. You shall have whatever you have agreed with. You know the proof that I'm sure that I'm doing the things of the Spirit. The wind blows it. You may hear the sound. But the more people are confused about Pastor Joseph, the more I know I'm more authentic. I'm with you. Hey! Thank God for Bishop Bessie. He said he was before the war, and the world wanted him to speak negatively against what or whom he was. And the world was seeing him. And the crowd, he was seeing the crowd. But they didn't know he wasn't seeing, he was seeing the devil waiting there to hear him confess negative. You see, many foolish ministers will see the crowd. They want to please the governor. They want to please the prime minister. But they forget that the devil is waiting there to see you lie. Because if you lie, if you have been saying one thing and you lie, and devil is there and he had it, devil, you owe your power. He's the accuser of the brethren. You say, God, is he not the same with me? Bishop Bessie said, I can't watch the crowd. I'd rather lose the crowd than to empower the devil to destroy me. Imagine just like there was a time when Mama came to Malaysia and powerful thing happened. So it happened that my visa overstayed. So I was a bit illegal for that time. And the team that I've been working with, they came. They said, Pastor Joseph, you were illegal in Malaysia. Church, listen to me. These are my team. These are people that I work with to host Bishop Bessie, Mark the Best House. And these are the team that God used to raise that $10,000 that I gave to her. And the other money that was given to her. These were the team. Jimmy, what would you have done? My children, what would you have done? These are the people that have worked with you. They are your team. They are your closest. They are your partners in success. But what they were saying was fact. F-A-C-T. But it was not faith. F-A-I-T-H. And I was the one leading them spiritually. And we came because we found out that during the time Mama was here, that your visa, you had illegal stay. And we are not happy with that, Pastor Joseph. Pastor Joseph, you are staying here illegally. Who is staying illegally? They said me. I said, have you read Psalms 24, verse 1? Can you read it? Psalms 24, verse 1. Oh God, church, if you know my story and testimony, what is there? Read it.
The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof.
Did he include Malaysia? Did the earth, the Lord, include Malaysia?
Yes.
And you are here telling me a man that is living beyond this earth. And you are telling me I'm staying where the earth is the Lord, and the fullness thereof. And you are telling me that I'm living illegal. Do you know my team that I love so much? The team that loves me so much. When they brought out this proposal, I said, I'm not living illegal. Come and see. Come and see reaction. They say, what do you mean? Pastor Joseph? No. We have to attack. I said, what do? I'm not leaving. They were there seeing me. They thought I was seeing them. I was not seeing them. I was seeing the devil waiting to accuse me. Because whatever I say is what I will have. If I say I'm illegal, I will become illegal. Spiritually and physically. You know, because of that argument, they left me. They said, we are no more working with you. One of them came to me and said, why are you so stubborn? not just accept? Why not please just accept that you are illegal? You are staying illegal in Australia so that will help you. I say, I can never, because when I will be attacked because of what I say, you will not be there to help me. These things, do you know how much these things spend on me? They spend over, Church of God Mission itself, they spend over $50,000 US dollars. But because I do not want to agree to the law of this earth, they deserted me. Now, do you know 2 times, how many times I was arrested by police? 2 times. 1, we were like 40 people they arrested. They read. Do you know? God is so fair. Because of the war, because I never changed my status spiritually. Do you know, even people that had papers that were staying legally, they were locked up in prison. Ask my wife. They called me out. When they called me out, they took me to the office. And they say, among all the Africans in Malaysia, you are among the one helping us. And you know what they told me? They say, we record your messages. We hear the message you preach. We hear your messages. Do you know who people call me? Police inspector. They brought me out from the club, and they say they know that a lot of these people here that are here are legal. They have their, but they will all they will put them in prison for 24 hours. I mean 48 hours. I said, what's the reason? He said, because the Prime Minister said that. Because where they pick them, you know, in Malaysia, you don't urinate outside because of their Islamic law. You don't urinate outside. So they have been warning the people. So I came there to pick my members to go to church. I didn't know they raided that place. So they raided it with that anger. Prime Minister said, lock them for 48 hours. And when they say, why are you doing this to us? Tell them it's because we want you to stop urinating there. We want you to stop drinking alcohol. Malaysia is against the law to drink alcohol openly. It's against the law to weed openly. It's a sin in their Islamic law. And that was the thing. Imagine that day. So when they took us and brought us to police station, everybody, we are more than 41. They called me out. They said, we record your messages. You are the only one helping us. He said, we found out that you are the only one we can use to talk sense into them. Look at the problem. The Prime Minister, look at the letter. The Prime Minister, he said that we shouldn't release you until after 48 hours. And after 48 hours, that's my wife. I went around, I brought all of them from detention camp. I was the only one, except one boy that boy, I didn't know what happened, why he missed. Out of every one of them, I went, I brought them out. They couldn't lock me. Prime Minister said, lock every one of them for 48 hours to teach them. They said they can't lock me. Another one, this were, because I said it, in the ears of the devil, I cannot be legal. One day, there was this guy we helped, me and my wife, who helped him, gave him money. Spent, I think, about 600 ringgit, about $200. So when we gave this boy, I think he felt we are so rich, we are millionaires. The guy set a trap for us and said, I came into his house because we just bought van. So he doesn't know how we are making it. So he thought he can. I didn't know. While I was entering his house, pay us our money. The guy started shouting, leave my wife alone, leave my wife alone. I'm telling you the truth. He went and locked the door. I started shouting, hey, you kill my wife, you kill my wife. What was he saying? I was raping his wife. Oh, thank God for stubborn man. I said, no, I cannot be. This guy cannot traffic. I went back his door. His gate, iron gate, he locked. I went back. I ran. Get. I saw the door move. I ran again. Get. The next one. Get. The door opened. I left. The guy went and used things and all his war. When he came to us, he was claiming a Christian. He was coming to our church. But now he knows it's a Muslim country. He now went and wore the Muslim clothes, carrying even the Muslim, he was having, was bigger than even the Imam's own. He now was, he wore the cap. He went and changed automatically and started speaking in Malakala Koloba, Makla Koloba. This thief came and said, this is so true. I can never lie. My wife, you know, my wife said, you know, when she told me, I have tested you, I have proved you. I didn't know this woman was private investigating. I didn't run away. I was in my house. Police came, pam, 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 everywhere. My wife just gave birth to her. Oh, no, she was pregnant. Yes, pregnant, right? With Glory. I said, sweetheart, don't worry. Police everywhere. You raped, you broke their house, you took $16,000. What I'm telling you this, if the time that the team that helped me, if I ever confess, if I ever accepted their confession that I'm illegal, the day their prime minister said lock them for 48 hours, I would have been locked. This day, I would have also been locked. So do you know what? Because this was what I told the team. I said, watch out, no prison yard will ever take me in this nation. No prison yard, because the earth and the fullness thereof is there. I can't be like that. So police took me to police station. They said, do you know this man? The guy was there. I said, no. He said, where is his money? Just bring the money. He said, if you can only give him that $16,000. I said, don't waste your time. I'm not here to argue. The guy is the one owing us 600. But he found out we bought a van. So because it's what they do in Malaysia, people kill people to make money. So he has entered the system. He wants to use us to make $16,000. Him and the wife. I said, don't waste your time because there's no $16,000 in there for me. That's my, she's a living witness. I said, he's owing me and he will give me my money. He can't go scot-free. Police say, with all this evidence, you raped the wife, you did this, you did that, you did that, you did all this, we are going to lock you. I said, this is my hand. God is my wife is a living thing. I said, look at my hand. Handcuff me. I said, can I do one thing before you handcuff me? They said, no problem. I called the taxi man, boss, we call him boss. I said, come and take my wife home. Let me see how they will lock me. I blew out my hand, they put handcuffs. I was removing my clothes, my wife was there. I said, sister, go home. Leave me and God. No power. Go home. I was removing my clothes, everything, frame, before you know it. The same guy. He came back. He said, we are scared. We are scared. We see anger in the air. We can't even go home. He has not gone home. He came back to the police people. He accused me of so many things. I said, I can never lie. And I can never accept what I never did. Police, you already handcuffed me. He came back and said, we sense anger. We sense we cannot even get home. If we get home, his people will kill us. That was what they said. Police said, what do you want us to do? He said, please, we forgive him of the $16,000 he stole from us. We forgive him of everything. Release him. police now say, okay. So all the accusation, police say, okay, we need you anytime we want you, we'll call you, we'll do what to do. Do you know those families did not make any success in Malaysia? One day we were sending my sister pastor was going back to Nigeria. That was my associate pastor, Reverend Clay, was going back to Nigeria. Lo and behold, at the airport, me and my wife was there. See husband and wife, whip on their floor, lie down. And we look, it was the same people. What are you doing at the airport? Pastor, since we did that to you in Malaysia, our life has been on torment. We are going back to Nigeria with the intention that's the only way we will escape. I said, what did you do to me? If they lie now, we say you raped my wife. You say we stole $16,000. You see, our life has never been this. Our life has been in torment. We are going back to Nigeria now to see even if there is unity. Me and my wife, at the airport. I said, may God forgive you. You are forgiven. God forbid that it will be because of me that you will not make anything. I forgive you. The money, we now sow it as a seed. The money you took from us,